I have a reserved parking space in the lot not far from the station, and I have a problem with it. At least, on the average, once a week, someone is in my parking space when I arrive, which means I have no place to park, and which causes great difficulty for me, and causes me to utter blue words and things of that nature that I wouldn't even go so far as to use on the radio, so you can imagine what it really, does inside my little heart and head. Well, today I arrived, and lo and behold, guess what? There was somebody in my parking space, but today I decided not to put up with it anymore. And I called the people that own the lot, and I said, and they said, don't sweat it, Mr. Lassiter. We'll tow him. And granted, it took almost an hour of my life this morning, standing there making the arrangements and waiting for the tow truck to show up. But I want you to know, it is a great feeling. It is a feeling that I had never experienced before. Watching some SOB's car being towed over the horizon for parking in my space. And that just put me in such a great mood. It really and truly did. That I really should have called in well today and, stayed home. It's okay. There you are. You're standing down there around the racetrack, and there's a crowd in the stands, and the dirt bikes are going round and round and round, and somebody comes up and says, I want you to participate in the next race. And you say, no. The guy says, why not? Come on, it's safe. I'll give you a helmet, Your chances are not very great of being hurt. Do you have a right to refuse? Of course you do. It's a basic human right. Now, what's your excuse for refusing? You're afraid you'll, rip up your knee, or you'll kill yourself, or suppose your excuse is it would inconvenience me to take part in that dirt bike race. Do you have a right to refuse to take part in it simply because it would inconvenience you? Well, of course you do. Why don't you have a right to terminate a pregnancy for as frivolous a reason as it would inconvenience you, or for as great a reason as you fear for your life? Doesn't make any sense. It shakes me to the bone, chills me to the bone. I do something that I probably do too often. I really don't like to do it, but it just sums it up so well. I want to read two editorials to you. One chills me to the bone. A story I hadn't even heard about. I don't know how it got past me, but it did. And listen very closely, just in case this one got past you, too. A few days ago, a Maryland couple went to court to attack a legal decision that they claim killed their daughter, Angie. She was 26 weeks pregnant when she went into George Washington University Hospital for treatment of a cancerous lung tumor. Doctors said that it was terminal. They said she needed surgery, a cesarean section, to save her child. Told that the surgery could hasten her death, that her fetus's chances of survival were only 50-50, Angie, her husband, and her parents all said no. But a judge said yes. Angie was prepped for surgery while an appeals court heard her case. She had time to say, I don't want it done. I don't want it done, before the phone rang. Her appeal had been rejected. So a helpless Angie was wheeled into an operating room. When the surgery was over, the baby, a girl, was dead. Angie died 2 days later. Unfortunately, this terrifying drama is not unique. Before Angie's operation was ordered last June, at least 15 other women had been ordered to submit to C-sections to save their babies in Colorado, Hawaii, Illinois, Maine, Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Texas themselves, and save preborn babies from dying needlessly. I just love this double talk. Preborn babies? What in God's name is a preborn baby? Sometimes I'm really glad that I am not a woman. There is something very, very strange going on, some kind of, perhaps a backlash. Maybe there are more working women today than ever before. Maybe there are more women in managerial positions today than ever before. Maybe there are even more women sitting in boardrooms today than ever before. But there seems to be a hell of a price to pay for daring to stick your nose into the man's world. And that price is obviously relinquishing very basic fundamental rights to control your own destiny, to decide what to do with your own body. I mean, more and more, the battle between the sexes is heating up. And it's even getting very, very ugly. It's not what the old battle between the sexes used to be, because the tactics are now very heavy-handed, and they are very, very brutal. That's good enough. Because with growing regularity, women are losing their most basic rights. The right to be themselves, the right to have some control over their own damned lives. I mean, it's still okay to burn your bra. Hey, because men like to look at your jugs, you know? It's okay. It's okay to display your attributes for all to enjoy. But don't try to do anything for your own benefit. No. You have no right to that. Yeah, sure, it's okay to sexually service any male who so desires your services, provided, of course, that you don't mind being called names. And even more importantly, provided you don't belong to some other man. Hey, but don't get pregnant. Because the moment you do, you give up the right to your own body. You relinquish it to a man in a male-dominated society. You know, 20 years ago, young women fought for the right to be equal. It seems to me that now, young women just kind of roll over in a submissive, subservient position. 20 years ago, young women fought for the right to get jobs, to be taken seriously, to gain entrance into schools of higher education. And for the most part, they were successful. But now their daughters seem to be paying the price. And excuse me, but those daughters are either unaware of the price they are paying or unable to stand up for themselves, as their mothers were able to do. I've got a handful of questions for you today. Why is this happening? I mean, am I crazy? Or is this getting worse? Is this getting out of hand? Are women literally being more and more put upon today? How is this? How could this happen? Who in the hell is in charge of your body, ladies? You? Or some pig-headed male? Or some air-headed bimbo who stands alongside him because she can't stand on her own? Where in the hell did this concept that unborn persons have rights come from? Where did this concept come from that it's anybody's business but yours? Where did this double talk come from? There's no such thing as an unborn person. If you'll take the time and trouble to open up a dictionary, you will find that Webster says born is brought into life or being, and person is an individual, a personality. There can be no unborn person. We have a document in this country. Actually, most of us get it confused with the Constitution. It isn't. It's the Declaration of Independence that speaks of all people being entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I don't understand why someone doesn't amend that to we are entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, provided you are not a female. In Tampa, hi, Jerry, you're on the air, WFLA.
Yeah, these women, they're no good. They're sluts. They should be punished.
Get off my phone, you jerk. I know that you think that you're being funny, but you're not in any shape, manner, or form. This is a damn serious topic, jerk. And you sat there for 12 minutes for that? I mean, to tell you the truth, the Van Ortner is pathetic. There are 3 calls on there. But I don't need jerks like you trying to be funny. Because it isn't funny, jerk. Nor are